Shy Bro, Father James with Deacon Hank
Hey.
on Memorial Day.
Woohoo.
Happy Memorial Day, everyone.
Happy Memorial
Is this
Day.
the official start of summer?
Feels like it.
Really? Does
know.
not feel like it. Because it's cold. And by the way, Deacon Hank is going on a little trip.
Yeah.
He's going to be gone for a while, so
Okay.
we're going to have to figure out how we're going to do Shy Bro. Either we might have to take a week off, or maybe I go solo,
Ooh.
or we go with Mary's Seat of Wisdom. I don't know.
It's true.
We're eventually going to have to get to this point eventually, folks.
We all knew it was coming.
Not doing this every day. We
Right.
still want to do Shy Bro
It's
once
a lot of
quarantine ends, but
Any
maybe once a month or once a week
Yeah.
instead of daily. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
but
we'll be around.
so, anyways, if you don't hear a podcast tomorrow, that's why. Deacon Hank went to Wichita to see his
Classmates
friends,
ordained to the
ordained
priesthood,
priests,
deacons.
and then he's going to spend some time doing some labor.
Yes, I'll be helping out with some manual labor at OLA, Our Lady of the Angels Mission, with the Franciscan Sisters of the Eucharist.
In the city on
Right.
the west side, correct?
Right.
So Memorial Day, here we are.
Here we
God
are.
bless our fallen soldiers and our veterans. Even though they have Veterans Day, we can still recognize them on this day. Did you have any family members who have served in wars?
Some great uncles.
Great uncles?
Yeah. I don't know too much of their stories, though. You?
I have. I've mentioned this in homilies before. I kind of find this cool. My father was drafted in Vietnam. My grandfather was drafted in World War II.
Wow.
My great grandfather, I believe, was drafted in World War One.
Wow.
Now that's the extent of my knowledge of my ancestors. Maybe I have a Civil War in there,
James Wallace. Yeah.
Spanish American War,
Yeah, Braveheart.
and then here I am doing nothing with my life.
Hardly.
We've talked about that before. I ever wonder if the draft will come back.
That is
in
on
the
your mind
United
a lot.
States. Yeah, it would just be very odd. I don't think it will. I think Vietnam was so traumatic.
True.
The civilian soldier just doesn't really work.
Yeah. There is a great need for military chaplains.
There is a great need for military chaplains.
They have their own archdiocese.
They do. It's true. When I was in Rome as a priest finishing my canon law degree, I would go down to the Navy base in Naples,
Oh, that's cool.
a couple hours south of Rome, and I would help on the weekend at the Navy base there. Spend some time with the families. Got a little taste of the military chaplain lifestyle. It's definitely interesting. But yeah, the archdiocese of the military services. But we wanted to talk about loyalty, patriotism, service to our country, the need maybe of justice, to follow the law, different types of justice. Remember from your theology and philosophy classes?
Sure, if you give me a moment.
Commutative
Yeah.
justice, putative justice.
Let me pull up that file.
Yeah, different things. Gosh, was it Cicero or Plato that defines justice as to give one his due? So there's a sense of justice to our country, right? Following the law is not arbitrary, but it's just. We pay taxes to our government. Now, some people might have a political disagreement with me on this one, but you pay taxes because
How many taxes?
your government provides something for you, security, right? You pay a toll when you get on a tollway. There's a sense of justice there. Not even if you disagree with what the government, the state of Illinois, the governor is doing, right? You're not paying the toll for that ideological purpose, but you're paying it because that toll supposedly goes to, fund the workers, the highway workers, and the people that build the toll. And Deacon Hank's about to sneeze. So, anyways, loyalty, justice. It was thought, if you were drafted in war, you had to serve, and it was illegal to dodge the draft. You owed this to your country for all the services that your country gives you.
Yep. Sorry.
Fulton has a quote that says, "As men love God, they will also love their country." Isn't that kind of interesting? As men love God, they will also love their country. There's a sense of when you love God, you're pouring yourself out. You're not self-absorbed or selfish. You're owing to God for what He has given you, and love justice is somewhat entwined in love, and so likewise, if you're going to be a selfless and a person that gives of himself or herself, you're not just going to love God, you're also going to love your neighbor, you're going to love your country.
Yeah. St. Augustine writes in The City of God that for a good republic like Rome or what Greece had, it depended on good men who wanted to carry out the virtues and the common good of the people. A commonwealth only works if people are going to abide by laws and by good conduct, morals.
Memorial Day, in a way, is a celebration of those people who followed this law, this sense of justice and loyalty and patriotism. They served, they gave of their lives for their country. So we're recognizing, in a way, them today. We're not glorifying war or saying, let's just keep fighting and our enemies are evil. But to me, I mean, many things going on. Just remembering our dead, praying for our dead, and commending them to God, but also celebrating how they gave of themselves, how they were not selfish. It's one reason I very much admire my father, my grandfather, my great grandfather, uncles who served in conflicts. All right, very difficult. It's obviously traumatic to have to be in war and leave your life behind, but they did it because they weren't selfish. Okay, I'm going to keep talking since Deacon Hank is contemplating leaving and going to Wichita. Jean Corbon, I've quoted from him before, but he says this: to be free means to be fully oneself, to be gratuitous, to love and be in common with others and at peace with oneself. This experience of freedom means, first of all, that the seeds of freedom lie within us but are not yet developed. Freedom is essentially the fruit of a process of liberation. It is not simply the abstract possibility to choose. And so our liberation works itself out in a gradual overcoming of whatever hinders the spontaneous flowering of our gratuitousness. It is never completed. It can always grow, since gratuitousness is infinite and eternally youthful, like the love it pours forth. Okay, so that's a long quote, but he's saying, all right, freedom is just not some abstract thought. Freedom is connected to gratuitousness, giving of ourselves. Think of giving a gift, something that you're not required to give of, but you choose to do this, right? So, if we want to live in true freedom, it's not just receiving all these benefits, but also giving ourselves. And part of the giving of ourselves would be following laws and having loyalty and patriotism, even if we're not necessarily automatically inclined to do it. That's a sense of self-gift and of dying to oneself. Maybe we can try to pray for that virtue on this Memorial Day.
Amen.
God bless.
Peace.